Hey everyone, welcome back to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper. Actress and comedian Sherri Shepherd is here today to talk about season 2 of the hilarious NBC comedy Trial and Error, which follows a defense lawyer and his ragtag team as they attempt to prove the innocence of an eccentric local celebrity accused of killing her husband. But before we bring Sherri out, let's check out a clip from the show.
Hey, Ann.
Sweet Jesus!
Oh, you noticed. I have a condition called the jumping Frenchman of Maine, where I leap to extreme heights when startled. It's very common if you're a Frenchman and from Maine. Oh, did you want something?
Everybody put your hands together for Sherri Shepherd.
Hey, how are you, Brittany?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm so great and excited.
Oh, good. You have so much to be excited about.
Yes.
I've gotten this character, Anne, can you please take, because she has all these crazy conditions.
Yeah, she has all of these very real neurological disorders. And this show, Trial and Error, if you've never seen it before, just think of like Parks and Recreation or The Office meets How to Make a Murder or how, The Staircase. We kind of combine them. And we're in this little weird town called East Peck, South Carolina. We're behind on everything. And so we're just getting to our movie theaters Back to the Future. That's how behind we are. And we play, I'm part of the legal defense team that is out to defend Kristin Chenoweth, who is our star for second season. John Lithgow was in our first season. And I play the paralegal, the legal researcher, the receptionist. But I have all of these disorders. I have facial blindness. I was born with no tear ducts. I laugh hysterically when you talk about murder. I faint when I see beautiful artwork. When I get my anesthesia, I speak in a British accent. When I get a flu shot, I walk backwards. I have alien hand syndrome, which is when your hand will go up and kill you. So this season, I am, if I am startled, I jump 10 feet in the air. If I drink too much, my body sets itself on fire. I have random dog hearing. I can have the hearing of a bat. It's crazy. But I'm just like, I'm very joyful and I have a heart of gold and I love everybody. So I have the sweetness in the show.
That's the thing. Her voice is so sweet, and then
Yeah.
sometimes she says the most messed up stuff too, and you're like, in that little sweet voice. You know?
Absolutely.
I love that. How fun is it to get to tap into somebody just so out there?
I love the character of Anne Flash because if anybody knows me from 30 Rock or How I Met Your Mother, any of the other shows, I play more of a sassy. Mm-hmm. That's, I'm sassy. When they want sassy, they call me. And so this is a character where it's just like, she's just joyful. She just, even with my voice change, she just believes everything is just awesome. Even though I'm defending you and you're a murderer, I don't know who you are because I don't recognize your face. And I love playing this character because she's so innocent.
And you brought up the different true crime. I mean, true crime is so big. Are you guys a big fan of all those shows on Netflix and everything?
Jinx
you get so addicted to it. So when I realized that this was really pulling things from the show Staircase, it blew my mind how just hilarious they could make something that's a crime.
And literally the Staircase, our show went exactly how the Staircase went with all of the crazy stuff. We just threw humor in it, and it's wild and it's wacky. And that's why I said Parks and Recreation or The Office. If you love those two shows, you will love Trial and Error. And Kristin Chenoweth plays this kind of evil girl woman who has, she's a sweetheart, but she's very evil. And I don't know if she killed somebody or not, but I love her so much.
We got to talk about the title. It says Trial and Error, Lady, Killer.
Yes.
That comma is curious to me. It's like, is she a lady killer? Is she a lady killer?
Yes, because in our town, we have, if you're a woman, you're not even supposed to be driving. You need people in front of you to wave a flag going, lady driver, lady driver. So this is, being a lady and a killer, it's completely not acceptable at all. And everybody in the town loves this woman. Mm-hmm. So she's a celebrity in her own right, but she's very weird and very eccentric and trying to solve this murder. And every one of these characters, with the exception of Amanda, she's coming and she's got a blog and she's coming and talking about the town. Every one of us is just a little weird in this town.
So if season 1 was channeling the Staircase.
The Staircase.
What is season 2 channeling?
Probably Jinx, I would say probably Jinx. And we decided to put this woman in and go follow the shenanigans of this weird town. And because the town is so weird, and because it's like an office in office or Parks and Rec, we get to be really crazy with what we say and the scenes, and it's wild.
Did you watch any of the Jinx?
I saw some of it, and when I auditioned for this, part. And the way I got the part was when they asked me to read the sides. You're supposed to read the sides. The producers, I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't read anything, and everything was blurry. And I just smiled. I went, mm-hmm. That's it. And then they called me when I was on stage, and they were like, "That's perfect. That's exactly what we want." Mm-hmm. And I got the part.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say leave your reading glasses at home when you audition. It worked for me.
But he created the character kind of, because that's sort of her whole vibe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was sitting here like going, oh my God, I can't read anything. Mm-hmm. And it worked.
So going into this second season, do you guys know who the killer is? Do you know how it ends?
We don't. She is the suspected killer, and Nick D'Agosto, our star, who was a star of Gotham. We just all believe her because we love her. But there's so many twists and turns every single week, like Jinx, like The Staircase, like How to Make a Murder, that you never quite know. Are they the killer or are they not the killer?
I think that's what I took from season 1, is because it's a comedy, so you're like, oh, it's going to be more predictable. Like, it's just going to be fun. But you still find yourself kind of like, I don't know, did they do it or not?
Our first season, John Lithgow was an eccentric poetry professor who was alleged, of killing his wife. And it turned out he actually went to prison, but then we found out that an owl actually landed on her head, and she ran into a plate glass window, and she died. So he got out of prison. So, you never knew from what episode to the other whether John Lithgow was innocent or guilty.
I think that's a sign of it being a really great show.
It's
is that it can be fun, but it can
yes.
actually keep you really engaged. I mean, to the finale, I wasn't sure, which is like a really awesome thing. Yeah.
You have to watch every episode, but it keeps you engaged, like on the edge of your seat, but it makes you laugh at the same time. How you make death and killing funny, I don't know, but it is funny.
So what was it like working with Miss Chenoweth here?
Oh, Kristin Chenoweth, I love Kristin. Like, first of all, they let her sing. And, even in one of the clips, she's not wearing underwear. And she lifts up her leg to the judge and she goes, innocent! And she doesn't have her bail, so the judge loans her money to, pay her bail. So to work with Kristin, she's weird, she's crazy, she's a nutcase, and all of that went into her character. Yeah.
How do you choose your roles? Because you have had some of the, we were talking about your role on 30 Rock, which was one of my favorite, Queen of Jordan. Right. Yeah.
Queen of Jordan.
Like, how do you get to choose these comedic roles? What is it that jumps out to you? Like, yeah, I want to do that.
If they're kind of different, if they're kind of weird, and then if I want to play with certain people. I've always wanted to play with Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin, and so Jack McBrayer and Tracy Morgan. So when Tina came, she was a fan of mine from Ellen and, different things that I've done. So when Tina came and offered me the role, I said, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. So if it's kind of weird, the character, and not your run-of-the-mill kind of character, I want to do it.
And you are, I think, you're so multifaceted. I was going to say best known for stand-up, but you also hosted The View. So you're best known for a lot of things, but I know stand-up is something that you really love doing and you're passionate about.
I love stand-up.
So you were recently toured with the Ladies of Comedy, right, with Nene and all
Nene
that.
Leakes was hosting the show. It was Ladies' Night. It was Lonnie Love from The Real.
Yeah.
It was Adele Givens, who was one of the original queens of
Great
comedy.
tour.
It was Jess Hilarious, who was on Wilding Out, and she's on a new show with Lil Rel Howery. And it was just a bunch of, female, Hope Flood and Melanie Camacho, and we just got out, and it was just like, Tiffany Haddish had Girls Trip. And I think we just said, ladies want to come out and laugh. And we're not out talking about being on our period and getting cramps. Everybody just has a different story about being a woman. And we came together, and we sold out in all of the arenas that we went to. And so it was something for everybody.
I love that. And then you're still gigging though, right?
I'm still doing stand-up. My gosh, right now I'm in New York. So if anybody is here Wednesday, I'm at the Levity Live Comedy Club. I'm headlining in West Nyack. If you're in Los Angeles Friday, I'm headlining at the Comedy Union. If you're in San Francisco in August, I'm headlining at Cobb's Comedy Club. I'm in Atlanta at the beginning of August at the Lounge, the Laugh Lounge. And so Levity Live, excuse me. I'm everywhere. I'm always doing stand-up because I love doing stand-up. I love making people laugh. I started out with Chris Tucker and Jamie Foxx and Chelsea Handler and Sarah Silverman, and it's like, and now I look at everybody and I go, can you believe we're here? Like, this is what we get to do every day. Crazy. It's fun.
And stand-up, though, isn't easy. So what keeps you going back? Because, you've got all these TV jobs. Like, you don't have to do it. but it
I
seems like
have to
something you
do it.
love.
I got to get on stage because it's something about being able to get on stage and share your life with somebody and you see somebody nodding because they get it. They get what you're going through. They get, it might not be the same story, but it is the story of what they're going through. And to be able to make people laugh. I saw Andrew Dice Clay and Eddie Griffin do it one time. And I said, I want to do that thing. So it's you get nervous. You don't know if you're going to get a heckler or not. I deal with hecklers very well because I've been doing it a long time. So you take care if you want to open your mouth and say something. But I love it. I have to be on stage. No matter what city I'm in, I got to get up on stage.
You always tag your stuff on social media to single mom. So I would imagine for you, like showing your kids, like this is, if your heart's in something and this is what can happen.
Yeah, I put single mom. Because I want somebody to know if I die, it's because of my 13-year-old. He has killed me. I have a 13-year-old. I don't know if anybody in this audience has a child. I had a sweet child who would let me kiss him all the time, and now he's sullen and moody. I'm not cool. I'm not hip. I don't know nothing. I said, I don't know who you are, but I want my child back. He is feeling himself. And so, like, even doing the In Your Feelings challenge with Drake, I had to beg that boy to do this no, you're not cool. You don't know how to dance. So finally, I begged him to do the In Your Feelings challenge. We're doing it. He walks out the room.
In the middle
of Kiki, do you love me? I'm like, Kiki. He said, Kiki don't care, mommy.
He didn't even he turned and looked at you.
I was in the middle of a good twerk. I had my twerk on. You couldn't tell. I was like, Sierra ain't got nothing on this twerk. This twerk been twerking since she was 2. I twerked. I was getting in good. Turned around, my son and walked out the room. Just looking at me.
I supported the twerking. It was really,
Thank
really
you
good.
very much.
It was on beat.
It was on beat.
I mean, it was fantastic.
He thinks that he's like, Drake don't know you. He don't have to know me. I was like, so we couldn't even do that right. And I'm like, when he was 9, he would have did that dance with me. But for some reason, he's like, my mom can't twerk. She's too old.
Well,
so
you are mom twerking, but I mean, I support it.
Good grief. That's what therapy is for. Go get a daggone psychiatrist. I'm not stopping my twerk for nobody, even a 13-year-old.
We get that in a quote.
I'm like, you better be.
I'm not stopping my
Let you get in high school. Your friends gonna like me. Watch out. Stop.
You were on the episode of Family Feud last night, and you had me laughing as hard as I'm laughing right now.
Okay.
Did anybody out here see it? Okay.
Celebrity Family Feud.
The final showdown. I've never seen somebody's face look so surprised when
that we won. Because
yes.
we were playing against Ian Ziering, who was on Beverly Hills 90210, and they were getting every answer right. And I specifically picked smart people from my family, and I picked one trifling in my family because I was like, this way you get to earn some money on your own. And so everybody was smart, and we just couldn't get these answers right. But first of all, I told Steve, I was like, I don't know who y'all surveying because you're not surveying nobody in Compton. Because literally, this is one of the questions. What breaks out? What is the number one thing? Survey said, what breaks out? I said, a fight. I thought it was a very good answer because if you black, the first thing that break out is a good fight. And I said, who are y'all surveying? You're not surveying nobody in Long Beach. Then they said one of the questions was, besides your neck, what do you use to hula hoop? Every black girl I know, their booty. You use your booty. And I'm like, I don't know who you ain't surveying Kim Kardashian, not at all. So we were getting, and once I said, okay, stop thinking like a girl in the hood and just kind of homogenize yourself, then we won. You're so nervous, and you're playing for a charity, and you're standing, you're just like, I don't know what. They said, what state has the best beaches? Besides California, what state? You so doggone nervous. I was like, Miami. Okay, I knew it was Florida.
You caught it, though. You caught it, but it was too late.
I knew it.
Florida.
It was too late. And I was just like, the family's supposed to go, good answer. My whole family was like, what's wrong with you? They were so mad at me. I was like, if I don't win this, we are in trouble. But we won.
You won, but it was the most dramatic
because
win.
On the last one, I got every answer wrong. I only needed 27 points to win. I got every answer wrong. And they finally got me. They said, what is the busiest day of the week for a bank? And I said, because I had tried to cash my check and it had bounced, and it was on a doggone Friday. And I said Friday because the line was too long, and that was the number one answer. And we won with 53 points. So we won.
I was so excited for you guys.
God.
You were crying. I was like, this is ratings.
Yeah, because I had to go and talk to my family afterwards. Because if I didn't win, we wouldn't get no money. So I won. They were happy. Ian Ziering from 90210 wasn't so happy because they was getting every answer right. Yeah, so it was good.
Ooh, guys, that was killing me. It was so good.
And then one of the answers, Steve said, what does a lady cop do in bed with her husband? What does a lady, and I said cut off his penis. Because I've been married twice and divorced twice. I thought it was a perfectly good answer. But don't try that at home, because it won't work.
That's when he was like, Sherri, this is not therapy.
Yeah, he
All
said
right?
that, yeah, don't work out your marriage issues on our show. So, but it was fun.
I want to talk really quickly about one of your famous friends. Niecy Nash was here last month, and it was right before her, she got her walk
friend,
on,
yes.
you know, the
She got a
Hollywood
star.
Yeah, star.
On the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
And I was watching her coverage of it, but you had just as much stuff on your Instagram supporting your friend, and I thought that was so sweet. And so what was that like for you, just getting to watch your friend kind of accomplish this really huge thing for herself?
It was really a proud moment for me to watch Niecy Nash get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I have known Niecy since when her kids were little. We started out in stand-up comedy. I remember her getting on stage, and I was like, oh my gosh, who is this girl? She was so funny talking about being divorced, and we just connected. And we have been friends for over 25 years, Niecy Nash and I. So we have auditioned for things together. We have lost parts to each other. We have encouraged each other. Niecy has been with me through my divorce, even though she introduced me to the husband I married. But she was with me. She's my ride or die. Once she saw it wasn't working, she was like, we'll kill him together. Niecy has, when I was stood up by a comic, I won't even name his name, I was stood up and I called Niecy. She was on Reno 911, and I said, I'm going to break out every window in his Rolls Royce. She was like, Diva, I'm there. She put up her hair, she put Vaseline on her face, and she showed up with that big old booty from Reno 911, and we went to tear up his windows. We arrived in Calabasas, and we tried to climb the wall, but we realized we wasn't 19 trying to climb a brick, gated community, and all you could hear was, please leave the property. So Niecy Nash and she was my bridesmaid. We have been friends for a long time. So to see the accomplishments and to see her being honored is something that made me just so tearful, because that's my friend, and I know what she's been through to get there. What you see on Claws and the glamour, she's had a journey to get to where she's at. So that's my sister.
Yeah, I could tell. I love seeing that support. And how important is that sisterhood in your industry, especially in the comedy field? What is it like having a friend who you can even be competing with, but it's all good?
This is a business that's very hard on you. You have to have a thick skin with social media, because you will have 12 people telling you they hate you every hour, every second, and you will want jobs really badly, and you don't book them. And you will be up for jobs that might change your life, and you don't get them. And you start to wonder, is there something wrong with me? And you need friends in the business who understand, who can encourage you, who can say, you know what? It's not just a dream. It will be a reality. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And so friendships with other women, I get nervous when I meet a woman who goes, I don't like being friends with women, because other women help you stay strong. And so I have friends in this business, Kim Whitley and Niecy Nash and Aisha Hines, and and I love seeing them work, because that means more work is coming from me. They love seeing me work, because more work comes for them. So I need those girls in my life. This is a hard. You don't just book jobs. And so it was. I came from The View. I was scared. I didn't know if people would know me as an actress, because I've been a co-host on The View for so long. And it was people like Niecy Nash going, no, we remember who you are. And they looked at Niecy for this role. But thankfully, Niecy, somebody from Claws was looking at Niecy. So she encouraged me, and I got this job. So that's from my girlfriends.
What was that transition like from hosting to acting?
Coming off The View, and going, I was scared to death. Because I said, I don't know if people are going to remember me for that. This is, people know me from The View. And it was really hard, but I knew it was time to leave The View, because it just was in me. I wanted to act. And I didn't want to be sitting there with these cards looking at somebody promoting their stuff and being jealous. I don't like being in that space. And I said, if I don't leave now, I'm going to be in an envious space, because I'll be wondering, what if I didn't audition for Girls Trip? And what if I didn't audition for Claws? And it's like, then if you don't step out on the fear, you'll never know. And so it was very scary, but, my mantra for life is do that thing that scares you the most. So when I decided to leave The View, I was just like, Lord, I don't know what's going to happen. But immediately I got a call from Will Packer, who produces Kevin Hart's movie. He said, you want to do Ride Along too? I got a call to do Cinderella on Broadway. I played the first African-American evil stepmother with Keke Palmer. I got a role in another movie. I did Trial and Error. I did Soul Man. I did Marlon. I did How I Met Your Mother. So all this stuff came because I stepped out on fear. It's amazing. On the other side of fear is some really wonderful things, but you got to get past the fear. Otherwise, if you don't get past the fear, you'll always be sitting there, and then you'll look up and go, what if? That's not a good place to be in.
And you're continuing to push yourself, right?
Yeah.
We know you for comedy, but you're moving into some drama.
I got my first dramatic lead in a film. It's called Brian Banks. It's coming out in December. I'm very excited. I don't know if anybody heard. It's about this football player named Brian Banks, who at 17 years old went to Long Beach High School, and he was falsely accused of rape by another student in his high school. And at 17 years old, they did no investigation, the police department. They sentenced him to an adult prison for 6 years at 17. He was an A student. He got recruited to go to USC to play football. And he was sentenced to 6 years. And then when he got out, he had 6 years probation with a big ankle bracelet. And it's like, what do you do when your dream is taken from you? And he's the most amazing man. And I play his mother in the movie because his real mother helped him get through prison as a teenager. And it's just about how the system failed this person, as they do many, many men. And they wanted Viola Davis for the role. I couldn't get an audition to save my life because they wanted Viola. They wanted Halle Berry. They wanted Octavia Spencer. They wanted Jada Pinkett. I was just like, I don't fit in there with none of them. Because as a comic, it's harder to get a dramatic role. It's hard to break into that because they think you're just funny. And so I begged and I prayed. I said, Lord, please, I just want to get the opportunity. But you got to be ready when the opportunity comes. Because they called me and I had to get the sides. And this is what the casting director said. She said, we're going to increase the part of the mother. And I went, great. And she was like, because we want Viola. And I was like, and she goes, okay, when you're ready. And I did it, and my audition tape got lost with the director. It was Tom Shadyac, who's directed all of Jim Carrey's movies, and he wrote The Nutty Professor. My audition tape got lost. He happened to be cleaning his computer, and he found my audition tape. And and they loved it, and they FaceTimed me, and I told them about being an advocate for my son, who was born at 5 months and who has special needs, and I booked the job. But it's hard being a because I don't have like Meryl Streep talent, so I'm just now doing drama. So the thing about it, you got to get because you never see me smile. I just cry, and I'm trying to get in them like, and somebody would come and go, "Girl, I love you on 30 Rock." I was like, for real. So it was a journey, but I loved it. I loved it.
And to prep for that, did you get to speak with his mother? Because I would imagine that would help you connect with the heart that way.
I did. I spoke with his mother many, many times, Leomi, and she's a very quiet person, very shy. She does not consider herself a hero, but she literally was the person that kept him sane at 17, because they arrested him at 16. And they wouldn't allow him to see his mother. And so he was a mama's boy. And so she drove up every weekend, 4 hours every weekend to see her son in prison. And she kept him alive. But she never considered herself a hero. She just was doing what she had to do for her child. So I connected with her because I'm a mother, and anybody who has children would do that for their child. So we did connect, but when she first met me, I had my big wig on and nails, and she's like, "Are you going to play me?" Okay. Viola wasn't available. So but once I toned it down, it was great.
I can't wait to see it. It comes out later this year.
It's called Brian Banks, yes.
Yeah, and I can't wait to support you in that film because I know you're going to kill it. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's go to the audience really quick before we head out of here. I know we have a couple questions.
Hi. How are you?
Hi.
So for this show, even though it's a comedy, did you have to do any research into the legal system, or did you learn anything about the legal system?
Well, let me tell you, I used to be a legal secretary. I was a legal secretary, and I was going to school to be a court reporter, and I did do some paralegal stuff. So the law firm, you can't tell me nothing. And I know lawyers have big egos, so I know that. So, working in this, they literally had to tell me all the time, Sherri, you're not in a real law firm, because everything was so, I was like, this is blank paper. We need like cases and documents, and we need real law books. So I knew about that part of it. And then I had to watch things like Jinx and How to Make a Murder and The Staircase to kind of see where they were coming from. And then the comedy, you just have to be real and natural. And, the more real and natural you were, the funnier it is in the show.
And one more question?
All right.
Hi.
Hey.
What were some of the most memorable and funny moments from set this season?
With Trial and Error,
Yeah.
we had a really, and it sounds really weird. I hate this to take it out of context. we probably have the funniest fart scene ever. And I know you're going, really? But this show is so weird that when it happens, it's probably 7 minutes of just that. And literally the president of Warner Brothers couldn't stop laughing. We have a scene where all of us have to barf. It's so, and that's how weird this show is. And everybody was throwing up. And I was like, what about me? So to literally sit there and do 19 takes with chunky chicken soup in your mouth, to have to, and I can't wait for you to see the scene because it literally, you couldn't stop laughing. So those are the weird things. And everybody's just, we like to play pranks on each other. So I can play dead really well. So people would come and see me and, they come and say, Sherri, you got 2 minutes left. And I'd be like, literally, I could do that. Like, I could do that for minutes and just play dead. And I would scare everybody. I was always scaring people playing dead. So a lot of wild moments. I shouldn't have given those away, but they're really funny.
Well, I think the fun translates to the show. Season 1 was a blast. I cannot wait to see season 2, but we don't have to wait that much longer.
Coming out this Thursday on NBC. We're back-to-back. We have back-to-back episodes. I'm very excited for people to see the weirdness. And Kristin Chenoweth we were so lucky to get this lady to play the lead in the show.
Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see it, guys. Give it up for Sherri Shepherd.
Thank you.